Hi, my name is Dong. I'm an animator, and today I'll show you two ways we commonly animate blinks in the industry. One that we often use in anime, and another one that is often used in the Western animation industry. Characters blinking help bring realism to your scene. We all blink, on average once every 3 to 4 seconds. More when our eyes are irritated, and less when we are in a state of focus. In a lot of scenes, we may have one or more characters just there, holding still. A held cell, if you will. And one of the easiest ways to give the character more life is to add a blink every once in a while. And that's what we're going to do today to our character. I'll be drawing in Clip Studio Paint, and if you have any questions about the software, please check out the video I did on that. But otherwise, feel free to use whatever software you want, or draw on paper for that matter. I will provide a link to the layout template I use in the description below, as well as a timesheet template later on. Here, I have an empty scene that is 3 seconds long. We'll have our character blink once every 3 seconds. The first thing we need to do is to just draw our character. This is going to be our rough keys, so keep it loose and quick. Here's a little shorthand I used to help me with drawing a face. I tried to sculpt the rough contour of the head and use construction lines to figure out where the eyes should sit and where the middle of the face should be. And get that ear in there. Let's draw the rest of the body. Get those neck and back muscles in there, as well as the clavicles connecting to the shoulders. And now for the eyes. Eye designs can vary greatly production to production, and check out my video on various eye designs we use in the industry for inspirations for your own drawings. For this drawing, I'll keep the designs of the eyes pretty simple, with a relatively standard shape and without too many detailed lashes or other design elements. The eyelids here are just a simple line. I still put some extra touches in the iris, as the eyes are often the most important part of a character and is often the first thing a viewer will see. Spend the time to make sure that the height of both eyes and brows are about the same. And now for the hair. I think a short bob would look really cute. Now let's draw some color separation lines for our shading on a new layer. Same thing as always, blue for shadows and red mainly for highlights. And get those lines shaded in on a new layer to make it easier to read. Here's a quick way to get an anime style highlight on your hair. Okay, with our drawing done, let's label it. How I'm going to plan this scene out is to have the character herself be a held cell as a 1. The eyes will be separated in cleanup and will be on its own cell, the B cell in this case. And now let's create the closed eye drawing. I'll create a new drawing at the halfway point of our scene, frame 37 in this case. When we close our eyes, the upper eyelids stretch fully down, while the lower eyelid will move just slightly upward. The closed eye shape will end up near the bottom of the open eye shape relatively. If the closed eye shape is too high, it will look strange, and too low, the animation will look rigid. The line of the eyelid should move down slightly as well. I might have made it too low in my drawing in terms of realism, but I think it looks good. Again, if the line of the eyelids don't move, it's going to look really rigid. And same thing with the eyebrows, lower them a bit during the blink. You can obviously modify these movements to match your own unique designs and needs. I'll add some lashes to the eyes to finish it and label this drawing as B2. With our rough keys drawn, let's give it a quick tie down and use that opportunity to clean up the lines a bit and separate our drawings into separate layers. I'm going to take everything and lower its opacity and just draw over it. In the industry, we call this process tie downs or Genga, and I go over the process in my Genga video, so check that out for more information. With the head done, I will now tie down the eyes on a new layer, layer B. And here is our tied down animation with the character held on the A1 cell and the eyes being animated on the B cell. First, I'll show you guys how we animate a blink in Animate Productions. Moving on to our timesheet to plan out our animation, this is how things are going to look. The open eye position of B1 is held until frame 36. The closed eye position of B2 is exposed for 3 frames. And in-between drawing is held for 3 frames, and lastly, we go back to the open eye position of B1, held until the end of the scene. In terms of timing, we are going to have the in-between drawing favor the B2 pose at about a 2/3 position. This means that the in-between drawing will be more open than closed. Alright, let's get that drawn. The top of the eye contour will be a bit lower than the open pose, and the bottom lid will be a bit higher. Make sure to move the top eyelid and eyebrows a bit as well. The pupils and iris should be shifted down a bit compared to the open eye position. If you don't, your animation will look really rigid. Okay, we got everything shaded in, and let's give it a label, B2- to indicate the in-between. Let's play back what we have. Looks nice. It's very quick and snappy, and has a good feeling of weight. Next, I'll show you how blinks are done in the West. I learned this from an old Disney animator and used it back when I worked in the Canadian animation industry. Here, we still have the closed eye position at frame 37, but there will be an in-between drawing at 35 held for 2 frames. There will be another in-between drawing at frame 39 held for 2 frames, and then we expose the open eye position again until the end of the scene. That first in-between drawing will be timed like this, with the drawing favoring the B2 closed eye pose, meaning that the drawing of the eye will be more closed than open, opposite from before. Alright, let's get that drawn. Again, everything I talked about earlier applies here. Move the top down, the bottom up, and don't forget to shift the pupils and iris down a bit. Remember to label your drawings, B1- in this case. For the other in-between drawing, we can just reuse what we made before, but just retime it a bit to match our timesheet. Okay, let's play it back. Although it's not as snappy as the previous example, this blink animation is much smoother thanks to being animated on 2s and just having more drawings. Which one is better? Well, they all serve their own purpose, and it's really up to you to decide how you want to animate your scene. That's it for today. Thanks to everyone who is supporting the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, links are down below, and patrons get some unique content to them every month. Other than that, check out my social media and have a great day.